Hey everybody, it's Lee from Let's Go Adventures, and if you're like me, you're getting ready for camping season, and if you're like me also, you probably have at least one or two of your tent poles that have either worn or broken shock cords. Trust me, I know. I have two this year. So I purchased the Coghlans tent pole repair kit off Amazon and was surprised when there was no instructions on how to do it. And after I did it, I realized it's probably foolproof, but I wanted to show you how I did it. So here we go. Okay, so here's the pole from earlier or last year that broke. You can see I got it wrapped up here. The rope is here, but I'm just going to cut it off or cut it loose so we can separate it out and start opening the package and thread them through. So you can see here's the last pole. It's still in this one, but it's not in any other ones, so it's gotta go. You can kind of see that it's up in there a little bit, and what we'll do is pull that out with our vice grips, and then we'll start rethreading it. So first, let's try to get this out of here. Actually, that may be a little tough. I may have to get like a toothpick or something. Oh no. There we go. So there's the old string. I'm just going to pull it through and get it out. So now I've got all the old shock cord removed, and here are the poles. So now we have our Coghlans repair kit. I'm going to open this thing up. Again, no instructions. Thank you, Coghlans. You forced us to learn some skills. So here is the new shock cord that's going to go in between them. This is a coiled piece of metal. Like a metal wire. What you're going to do is use this to thread through the poles, and we're going to attach this piece of metal to the shock cord and just pull it right through. Here are two extra ferrules. Now, if your pole is broken or cracked, you're probably going to have to replace these. They would just go on the ends. But for me, it's not going to work because mine are bigger than what these are, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just replacing the cord anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is unthread the cord. And unless you just have a really, really long pole, this should be enough. I don't know what they said this is. This is 11 foot of cord, which I think it has to be at least that. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to unwind my metal here and coil this out. Okay. Now this metal, this piece of wire is long enough to go through all the way through most tent poles. So it's going to be pretty easy to pull it all through there. And if you need to cut these ends off, you can cut an inch or so off if you had to. I'm not. I'm just going to kind of straighten them out. Just good enough. So now I'm kind of straightening out the ends. You can see this little wire on the end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to shove this little piece or a little bit of this metal into the end of the shock cord so that it kind of holds itself in there. So I'm just kind of working it on and get it on there. All right. So I maybe have it a quarter of an inch up into the end of the cord. Kind of see it on there. Now it's not going to stay on there. What I have to do next is put a little piece of tape. Now if you have masking tape or a little duct tape or whatever, obviously the thinner the better. I'm using a little piece of gaff tape, and what I'll do is just wrap it around it long ways, because I don't want to make this connection too thick so it doesn't want to go through my pole. So there we go. So you can see I just kind of wrapped the wire on this end around the cord. So I'm going to push the wire through the tent pole. Just kind of fish it around until it fits in there. So it's in the hole now. I'm pushing it through. Now we have our junction, and if you notice, the wire is already out the other end. So I just pull it on through. Now before I get all the way to the other end, I've got to tie this off so it won't pull all the way through and I have to redo the process again, right? So that's why they give you these little washers. What you're gonna do is take the little washer. I already have a couple here. You're gonna take the little washer from the other pack that I did, by the way. You're just gonna slide the washer, on the cord. So it slides on the cord, and you don't have to worry about pulling it tight right now. We'll take care of all the tension when we get to the other end. So I'm gonna do a figure 8 knot. And the way you do a figure 8 knot is you create like a little loop, like a Q, and then you turn the loop away from the end, and then you run the end back through the twisted Q. And when you let it go, it creates what looks like a figure 8. And we just pull that and tie it off. And it creates a good tight knot. Now what we're gonna do is pull that figure 8 knot with that washer into the pole. And it's set, it's good. Now we want to trim off this excess, but we'll do that when we're done. All right, so now that we're through the first one, I'm just gonna keep feeding the other poles into it. So here we go. All right, so I'm looking for number, what I start with here? I need 2. All right, so here's number 2. And what I'm gonna do, because I have the metal ferrule here, I'm gonna start with the non-metal side so they connect whenever they're put together. Push the wire through. And again, I'm gonna pull it out the other side. And again, I'm not worried about tension right now. I'm just worried about getting them together. And we'll take care of the tension when we get it all the way through. All right, so now 3. Again, we have the ferrule side, so I'm going to the other side here. Here's 3. Just gonna push that through. It's already through the other end. And if it has tension on it, then you may want to check and make sure that, you know, it's in there correctly. Once I got this through, there's barely any tension at all on these cords or on the cord. I can pull through pretty easily. All right, just 2 more to go. All right, we're looking for 4 and 5. Okay, here goes 4. And again, these weren't in a specific order. I'm just ordering them so that I don't have to worry about the ends, and I feel pretty good about it. Some people say that, oh, you should make sure you never get them out of the order they were originally in. And, you know, I say, hey, in the heat of the moment when it's raining and you're trying to take down the tent and it's flooding and everything's a mess, worry about that then? I don't think so. I'll just, you know, either buy new tent poles if I have to. All right, so now we've ran it through all 5 segments. So here's where we're going to focus on putting a little tension on it, so that it, you know, they stay together, and that they're, you know, they're easy to fold up when you're done. So, okay, so here I'm just gonna try to balance this thing here. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so let me just push this through. All right, so that's connected. Now all 5 segments are together. Move that out a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull a little tension on it. Not a whole lot, because I don't want it to be super tight, but you know, I want them to kind of stay together. So I'm going to pull a little tension on them, and then I'm going to use a pair of vice grips. Now these are the kind of grips that, you know, you squeeze and lock down. If you don't have that, you could probably use like some of the metal clips that people use at work. Most people just take them home and use them on bags of potato chips. But I'm going to put that tension on that cable right there so it holds it in place. So now it's got the tension on it, it's holding all the poles together, but it's not too much. I'm going to do the same thing on this end. I'm going to get one of my washers, little trusty washer. I'm going to run that through the cord. Put it on there over the little threading wire, and there it is, you know, up there by the vice grips. And now I'm gonna do the same kind of little figure 8 knot. Create the loop, turn away from the end. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna pull it through, and it should look like a figure 8. Oh, a figure 8. And we're done. Now, what I want to do is I want to kind of get this close to where my vice grips are, so I'm not wasting all this this shot cord. All right, that's pretty close. Remember, we have tension on them, so it's going to tighten up when we go in. So let the tension off and watch. Pull it in there, and so now we can come in. Trim off the excess. And now our pole folds right up and can be put back into the camping bag. So that's it, everybody. We got the tent cords repaired, and now we can go put them back into the camping bag, and they're ready to go camping for this season. Again, thank you, Coghlans. What a nice little repair kit. Appreciate it. Didn't need the instructions after all. So if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification, because we go camping and we try to do stuff. Unfortunately, 2020 was a pill, but we're back at it. So come on, let's go.